some kind of Mike or Mick or Mikey or something.
Yeah.
He rings up, yeah, mate. I go, yeah. He goes, yes, where are you? I go, in the city. Who's this? He goes, don't worry who it is. He goes, and then he goes like this. He goes, oh, you think your Afghan mate's a sick I said, who? Brother, tell me who. I said, who are you talking about? Anyway, then he went on and on about it. It's on my phone. Anyway, I said, oh, yeah. So anyway, where are you? Yes, Auburn. Oh, so I went to Auburn just to see who it is. I just want to go see who it is. Maybe he's got a hot sister or something, you know?
Yeah.
And I go there. Texting that, we're at Uguna KFC now. So, all right, so I went to Uguna KFC. We're out there. We have to go. Catch up another guy. Who is it? And they go, don't worry. He goes, this and that, da-da-da. Anyway. You ever heard of this? He goes, he's here. He's there with Voice and some other
Pasquale Barbaro's life is a compelling story that epitomizes the complex interplay between heritage, power, and modern-day criminality. Born into a family with deep mafia roots and known for his involvement in the Australian underworld, Pasquale's name became synonymous with high-profile crimes and gangland executions. His journey from a mafia scion to a high-profile criminal and eventually a police informer highlights the intricate dynamics of loyalty, betrayal, and the ultimate price of living outside the law. This is the life of Pasquale Barbaro. Pasquale Timothy Barbaro was born on February 6, 1981 to Cheryl Gilroy and Giuseppe Joe Barbaro. His father was a member of a notorious Calabrian crime family with significant influence in Griffith and Melbourne. To shield young Pasquale from the dangerous influences of his father's family, his mother relocated to Brisbane in 1983. Despite these efforts, Pasquale's connection to his father's criminal world would ultimately shape his destiny. Pasquale reconnected with his father at the age of 9, a reunion that marked the beginning of his immersion into the world of organised crime. He was initiated into the family's criminal activities, learning the intricacies of drug trafficking, extortion, and maintaining a code of silence. By the age of 16, he had already made his first court appearances, facing charges of burglary, harassment, armed robbery, possessing heroin, and threatening to kill. This early brush with the law set the stage for a life deeply entrenched in criminal activity. The Barbaro family's involvement in organised crime dates back to their roots in Italy. The 'Ndrangheta, one of the most powerful and secretive criminal organisations globally, provided the framework for their activities in Australia. The Barbaros were deeply entrenched in drug trafficking, extortion and money laundering. Their operations were not just limited to Australia, but had international connections, making them formidable players in the global crime arena. The family's reputation for violence and ruthlessness was well known, and young Pasquale grew up understanding the power dynamics within the Mafia. The Barbaros commanded respect and fear, both from their criminal peers and law enforcement. But sometimes this was not enough. Different members of the family meet a tragic end, a legacy that young Pasquale would unfortunately inherit. Pasquale's grandfather, Pasquale Peter Barbaro, was a key figure in the family, but his involvement with the Mafia eventually led to his murder in 1990, a gangland hit believed to be in retaliation for turning police informant. In 2003, following the same fate, his cousin Pasquale Little Pat Barbaro was shot dead in a van next to gangland figure Jason Moran. Lastly, Pasquale's uncle, Pasquale Pat Barbaro, was arrested in 2008 and he is currently serving 30 years in prison for the importation of more than 4 tons of ecstasy hidden in 3,000 tomato tins arriving from Naples, the world's largest ecstasy bust in Melbourne. These familial ties to high-profile criminal activities inevitably drew Pasquale deeper into the underworld, where he would carve out his own notorious path. Just quickly, if you're enjoying this video so far, please consider subscribing and liking this video. It really helps me out and helps the channel grow. Pasquale Barbaro's foray into the world of crime was both a continuation of his family legacy and a personal quest for power and recognition. His criminal record is extensive and varied, reflecting a life dedicated to illegal activities. Pasquale's ventures into the drug trade were among his most significant criminal undertakings. In October 2002, he was arrested in a joint AFP and NSW police operation for his involvement in a methamphetamine ring alongside his father. This operation led to a 9-year jail sentence with a minimum term of 6 years. Despite his incarceration, Barbaro's criminal activities continued. While still in custody in 2006, Pasquale received an additional 5-year sentence for possessing a prohibited weapon, armed robbery, theft and burglary over a 2001 armed robbery. He was released in 2008, but soon found himself embroiled in further legal troubles. His release from jail did little to deter him from returning to the underworld. The subsequent years saw him involved in various crimes, from fraud to drug production. His 2012 arrest for the production of methamphetamine at properties near Gulben and Cobbetty once again brought him into the spotlight, but his release on $350,000 bail in 2013 allowed him to resume his criminal pursuits. In 2013, Pasquale's association with Brothers for Life members, including Fahad Qaumi, further solidified his position in the underworld. This notorious gang, known for its violent tactics and ruthless enforcement methods, provided Pasquale with new opportunities and alliances. He hosted a lavish party on Sydney Harbour, attended by leading underworld figures, highlighting his status and connections. However, this association also brought additional scrutiny and danger. Pasquale was allegedly involved in the murder of Joe Antoon, a standover man shot dead in Strathfield in December 2013. Fahad Qaumi was later convicted of organising the murder, with the judge suspecting Barbaro's involvement. This incident marked another deadly chapter in Pasquale's criminal career, underscoring his ruthless nature and willingness to eliminate threats. Despite his criminal undertakings, Pasquale maintained a flamboyant public persona. He had a love for luxury and excess, which he flaunted unabashedly on Instagram. His account was a window into his lavish lifestyle, showcasing his wealth and opulence. Posts featuring his Lamborghini, designer clothes, expensive watches, and luxurious vacations painted a picture of a man who revelled in the finer things in life. Pasquale's love for showing off on Instagram was not just about flaunting his wealth, it was also a tool for establishing his status within the criminal underworld. By displaying his riches, he projected an image of success and power, reinforcing his position among his peers and rivals. However, this public display of wealth also drew unwanted attention from law enforcement and rival criminals. Despite the risks, Pasquale continued to post on social media, seemingly indifferent to the dangers it posed. His posts attracted a significant following, with many admiring his audacity and others condemning his blatant disregard for the law. This duality of admiration and disdain was a recurring theme in Pasquale's life, reflecting the complex and contradictory nature of his existence. Despite his deep entrenchment in criminal activities, Pasquale's life took an unexpected turn when he decided to cooperate with the police, following his grandfather's footsteps. Pasquale's decision to turn informer was not taken lightly. The dangers of becoming a police informant in the criminal underworld are immense, and the repercussions can be fatal. For Pasquale, the decision was a calculated move to protect himself and his family from the escalating threats posed by his criminal activities and the numerous enemies he had made over the years. This cooperation marked a significant shift in Pasquale's life, placing him at odds with his former associates. The information provided by Pasquale to law enforcement was instrumental in several key investigations. His insider knowledge of the operations of the Brothers for Life gang and other criminal networks helped police dismantle parts of these organizations. The arrest and subsequent convictions of several high-profile criminals can be directly linked to Pasquale's cooperation with the authorities. However, becoming an informant also meant that Pasquale had to constantly look over his shoulder. The Criminal Code of Silence, or Omerta, dictates severe punishment for those who betray their associates. Pasquale's decision to cooperate with the police marked him as a target for retribution from his former allies, adding another layer of danger to his already perilous existence. In November 2015, Pasquale narrowly survived a targeted attack near his home in Leichhardt. 6 shots were fired at him, highlighting the ever-present danger that surrounded his life. The suspect in the attack was Hamad Assad, a known associate of the criminal underworld. This attempt on his life underscored the perilous existence Pasquale led and the enemies he had accumulated over the years. The attempt on Pasquale's life was a stark reminder of the constant threat he faced. The attack was brazen and calculated, designed to send a clear message to Pasquale and others in the underworld. Despite the severity of the attack, Pasquale managed to survive, further cementing his reputation as a resilient and formidable figure in the criminal world. Assad, a known hitman and enforcer, was suspected in several other high-profile murders, including the killing of Walid Wali Ahmad in April 2016. Assad himself was killed in a targeted attack outside his home in George Hall on October 25, 2016. He was shot multiple times by at least 2 assailants while he was preparing to take his nephew to school. The attackers, who were in a black car, shot Assad in the chest and head before fleeing the scene. His nephew witnessed the shooting, and despite paramedics' efforts, Assad died at the scene. His killing was likely a targeted revenge attack due to his suspected involvement in previous violent incidents. If you want to know more about this story, make sure you check out my video on the Ahmad crime family after this. Despite surviving the assassination attempt, Pasquale knew that his life was in constant jeopardy. The failed hit did little to deter his enemies, who remained determined to eliminate him. For Pasquale, each day was a battle for survival, with the ever-present threat of violence looming over him. On November 14th, 2016, Pasquale's luck ran out. He was gunned down outside the Earlwood home of construction boss George Alex. The assassination was a meticulously planned hit, executed with cold precision. Pasquale was ambushed by members of Abuzar, Afghani Abs Sultani's crew, who had been lying in wait for the opportune moment. Pasquale was sitting in his Mercedes when an Audi Q7 pulled up alongside his car. Joshua Baines, positioned in the back of the Audi, fired multiple shots into Pasquale's vehicle. Pasquale attempted to flee, but Sultani pursued him, firing several rounds into his body as he collapsed on the ground. The brutal execution was a testament to the ruthlessness of Sultani's gang and their determination to eliminate Barbaro. The murder of Pasquale Barbaro marked the culmination of years of criminal activity and violent confrontations. His death was not just an end to his life, but also a significant blow to the criminal networks he was associated with. The meticulous planning and execution of the hit highlighted the lengths to which his enemies were willing to go to remove him from the equation. Despite his attempts to navigate the treacherous waters of organised crime, Pasquale's fate was ultimately sealed by the very world he had become a part of. The murder of Pasquale marked the beginning of the end for Sultani's criminal reign. The arrest of Sultani and his crew came swiftly within 2 weeks of Pasquale's murder. Surveillance operations, including the bugging of Sultani's Subaru WRX and his apartment, played a crucial role in their capture. Despite initial setbacks, the breakthrough came when police decrypted a series of emails on the gang's encrypted BlackBerry phones 3 years later. These communications revealed chilling details of their crimes. One such message from Sultani read, "It's done, we driving, pray we arrive safe," sent moments after Pasquale's execution. The investigators, with help from Canadian authorities, managed to piece together these encrypted exchanges, solidifying the case against the killers. Sultani, along with his henchmen Sia Munchizada, Joshua Baines, and Mirwais Danishah, faced multiple trials over the course of 12 months. The trials were held under strict suppression orders, preventing media coverage until December 2021. Sultani pleaded guilty to the murders of Michael Davey, Mehmet Yilmaz, and Pasquale Barbaro, while his associates were convicted after lengthy court proceedings. The court heard that Sultani, a former president of the Rebels Burwood chapter, had led his inner circle in a 7-month execution spree. He had orchestrated the murders, personally pulling the trigger in several instances. Sultani's justification for his actions was a twisted sense of desensitization to violence, driven by ongoing threats to his life. He was sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, with Justice Desfagan labelling him a serial killer. Sia Munchizada, described as Sultani's foot soldier, was found guilty of the murders of Davey, Yilmaz and Pasquale. Despite his lawyer's argument that he was merely a pawn in Sultani's game, the court sentenced him to 3 consecutive life sentences. Joshua Baines received a 36-year prison term for his role in Pasquale's murder, while Mirwas Danishyar was jailed for at least 11 years as an accessory. The sentences marked the culmination of one of Sydney's most significant murder cases, bringing an end to the violent reign of Sultani's gang. The courtroom dramas provided a glimpse into the psyche of the murderers, revealing a chilling lack of remorse and a deep-seated gratification for killing. The investigation into Pasquale's murder was a complex and challenging task for law enforcement. The meticulous planning and execution of the hit indicated a high level of sophistication and coordination among Sultani's crew. However, the persistent efforts of the police eventually led to the unravelling of the conspiracy, bringing those responsible to justice. The successful prosecution of these individuals also served as a deterrent to others in the criminal underworld, signalling that justice would be pursued relentlessly, regardless of the power and influence of the perpetrators. Pasquale Barbaro's life was a complex tapestry of crime, power, and betrayal. From his early days as a Mafia scion to his rise as a prominent figure in the Australian underworld, Pasquale's journey was marked by a relentless pursuit of power and recognition. His flamboyant lifestyle and audacious use of social media set him apart from traditional Mafia figures, making him a modern-day criminal icon. However, his decision to turn police informer ultimately sealed his fate. In the world of organised crime, betrayal is unforgivable, and Pasquale paid the ultimate price. Here, alliances are fleeting, and death is often the final consequence. The story of Pasquale Barbaro and his killers is not just a tale of crime and punishment, it is a reflection of the broader societal issues that allow such criminal enterprises to flourish. The allure of quick wealth, the influence of family legacy, and the constant cycle of violence all contribute to the perpetuation of organised crime. As law enforcement continues to combat organised crime, the successes achieved in bringing his killers to justice demonstrate the effectiveness of coordinated efforts and the importance of persistence in the face of formidable challenges. Pasquale's life and death highlight the urgent need for continued efforts to address these underlying issues and to create a society where individuals are not drawn into the destructive world of crime. As always, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Till next time, take care.